A shomea that listens with one ear out the other is not somebody that wants to change. But a shomea, someone that listens, understands what you're saying, and then takes action. Takes action. Okay, you know what? The Shabbat thing is too big for me right now. I just started. It's too much for me. Can you give me something else? Well, technically, you still have to keep Shabbat. Yeah, I know I have to keep Shabbat, but I'm not ready. Can you give me something else? Now, what are you going to say to the guy? If you hate him, say, no, you don't want to keep Shabbat, the heck with you. Don't talk to him anymore. When you're ready to keep Shabbat, come back to me. That's if you hate him. If you love him, say, you know what? You're right. You're not ready. Let's do something else. I'll work with you. Why? He's willing to buy in. He's just not ready yet. In our generation, some of you it's before your life, some of you it's during your life. When I was a kid, there was a horrible story in the news. But the horrible story had a fantastic story in the makings. There was a soldier that one day had his vacation, and like most soldiers in Israel, they hitchhike. So the soldier came from the kibbutz, completely irreligious, barely even heard the name Moshe Rabbeinu in his life. Believe it or not, there are still people like that in the world. Even in Eretz Yisrael, Hashem Yachem. Anyway, this soldier was hitchhiking, and as Hashem would have it, some chassid that was a friendly with the Rav Yagin, alav shalom, pulls over. Says, hey, where you going? Goes, I'm going such and such place. So the chassid, being friendly with Rav Yagin, you can't be like a regular person. You have to be a person that's passionate about Torah. So he sees this secular soldier hitchhiking. He wants to go someplace that's a few hours away. He says, perfect opportunity to help this guy do tshuva. Yeah, come on board. I'm going there. Where are you going? I'm going. Where are you going? I'm going. Wherever you're going, I'm going. Oh, yeah? Okay. Jumps on board. He goes in, and they start driving. Oh, little by little, they start chit-chatting. They start talking. And as they get closer and closer, the soldier says, yeah, it's over here. It's this exit. He goes, well, listen. I was thinking, probably, Shabbat's coming soon. Later today's Shabbat. You've probably spent Shabbat with your family your whole life, and you guys don't keep Shabbat, you don't do Kiddush, nothing, right? He goes, no. Because so your whole life, you know exactly what Shabbat looks like over there, right? He says, yeah. He says, but you don't know how it looks like in my life. Why don't you come to my house for Shabbat? I'll show you what Shabbat looks like in a religious family. Soldier says, sure, why not? But how am I going to get back home after Shabbat? He goes, I'll take you. I said, okay, fine. So they went, continued. They got to Bnei Brak, Shtabach Shemo. He goes to Shabbat. He sees something he's never seen in his life. All the little kids are happy, singing Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem. And there's little, pictures, and they say, oh, that's Rabbi Akiva, and that's Rabbam, and that's this, and everybody's excited about the pictures, and excited about Torah, and the little 9-year-old kid gives a chidush, and he never saw such things. The little 9-year-old is even giving the ability to speak among the adults, and all the adults are listening. Wow, that's the parasha this week. Chazak u'baruch. Chazak. And he's like, wow, this kid's a genius. And then he sees the 8-year-old do the same thing. And then he sees the 7-year-old do the same thing, each in their own way. And this soldier that's 20-year-old, he's never seen such a thing. 7, 8, 9-year-old kids are saying things that happened 3,000 years ago. He doesn't even know himself. At the end of Shabbat, he says, I have to tell you. He tells the Chassid, I have to tell you, this was the greatest, not the greatest Shabbat, the greatest day in my life. I've never seen such beauty, so much food and love and happiness and everybody singing and happy, and you talk the Torah and the wonderful stories from the rabbi. It was unbelievable. The Chassid says to me, this, every week we have this. He goes, Bemet? You didn't do this just for me? He goes, no, what pitom, you. No, every week is like this. It's for Hashem. He goes, it's amazing. Amazing. He goes, why don't you do it again? He goes, listen, let's be real with each other. If I go back to the army and I tell my commander, I want to start keeping Shabbat, they're going to put me in a cell that doesn't have windows for 30 days just for making such a stupid comment. They're going to put me in a prison. Instead of putting the terrorist in a prison, they're going to put a soldier in a prison because he wants to keep Shabbat. Can't. Wait, they're going to make fun of me. I'm a serious soldier, special missions. Come on, you know Hashem is real. He goes, I know Hashem is real. After this Shabbat, it has to be real. Can you give me something that nobody else can see? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, give me like a mitzvah. I want to do something for Hashem to at least tell him that I know it's real. I know he's real, but I can't do Shabbat. Why? Because if I do Shabbat, everyone's going to know I do Shabbat. They're going to beat me up. They're going to make fun of me. I can't do it. Give me something else that nobody knows that I'm doing it. So the Chassid thinks, he says, B'siyata d'ishmaya, mamash, miracle from heaven. He says, you know what? I'll give you something no one's going to know. He says, Shulchan Aruch says, when you put your shoes on, there's a way to put your shoes on. First, you have to put left shoe on. Then, the right shoe. Then you tie one shoe, and then the other shoe. The soldier says, what? You guys have a book of rules and it says how to put shoes on? God cares about how to put shoes on? He says, yes. He says, yes. He says, I like this halacha. I like this rule. This is rule. No one's going to know. I know I'm putting the left shoe on, the right shoe on. No one's going to know. No one's going to know that I'm putting this right, left. Who cares about how I put my shoes on? It's the perfect halacha. I love this mitzvah already. I haven't even done it. The soldier is so excited about this mitzvah. He says, Hashem, he talks to Hashem that night. He says, Hashem, listen, I know you want me to do all this Shabbat, all this. I'm not ready yet. But I promise you, Hashem, this one, I'm not going to let you down. I'm not going to let you down with this halacha. I'm not going to let you down. I'm going to do this. And this soldier wakes up in the morning and he remembers he's so excited, the left shoe and then the right shoe and then ties and the right. And he's so excited about how he's tying his shoe. And no one even knows why he's so happy. He's just tying his shoes. And he goes back to the platoon over there and the soldiers are there. And everybody's looking at him. It's like every day he's like smiling, tying his shoes. Like, what's wrong with this guy? Is he high? Is he like has some type of like imagination of what his shoes are? What did he eat? Mushrooms in the morning or something? What's the matter with this guy? No one knows what's going on. Everybody knows that this guy is a fanatic about his shoes all of a sudden. One day, early in the morning, he runs to the camp with everybody else, and then he realizes, oh no! I forgot about the shoes. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I forgot about the Hashem. I told Hashem I'm not going to let him down. He says, you know what? General, listen. I have a little injury in my leg. And it's hurting me in my boot. I got to go back to... Go. Quick. He goes back to camp. Goes into his little tent over there. Takes off his shoes. Takes off his socks. He's machmir. He's not just the shoes. Yeah, the shoes, the socks, everything. Start the whole day all over again. He takes the shoes off and the socks and everything, and then again, left and right, and goes back to camp. A couple of days later, forgets again. What are you going to tell him? Foot hurts again. He says, hey, it worked last time. He says, General, my foot. What's wrong with your foot again? Can't just go quick. Go, quick. 5 minutes you have. 5 minutes you have. Enough with this nonsense. Learn how to put your Band-Aids on. He goes, he changes, he takes the shoes off, puts the shoes back on, he's finished, he goes back. As Hashem would have it, only a couple of days pass, and the same thing happens again. He forgets the shoes in the morning. He forgets to put it the right way, and he goes and he tells General, I have the shoe. He says, again with the shoes? Again with the shoe? What's the matter with you? You don't know how to put shoes on? He goes, just please, can I go? General says, go. But this time the general, he didn't buy it. So he followed him. He followed him to see what kind of wound that this guy have on his foot. What, did he get shot in his foot? Like, what's wrong with this guy's foot? So he peeked in, and he saw this guy take off his shoes, take off his socks, and there's not even a scratch on his foot. He breaks into the tent. He says, "You've been lying to me this whole time? You've been lying to me!" 30 days in a cell. No calls, no letters, no light, no nothing. 30 days. They put him in a cell, and the very next day, there's an emergency. A well-known emergency. There's an attack, and his entire platoon of almost 70 people goes onto a special mission. They go in a chopper, and Yimach Shimam v'zichram, the evil terrorists, blow up the chopper and kill everybody. Everybody dies. The next day, that soldier, they open his cell and they tell him what happened, and they say, "Listen, your entire platoon is dead. Go home." Before he goes home, he calls his friend, the Chassid, and he says, "Where could I go to go learn more about your Torah?" He says, "What? Your Torah, the Moshe Rabbeinu and the Rabbi Akiva and all those rabbis. Where could I go learn about that?" He says, the Chassid was surprised. He says, "Well, aren't you afraid of your friends and your general and your mom and your dad and all these other people? What they're going to say to you?" He says, "They're all dead. And the only reason I'm alive is because of the one mitzvah I did. I know I owe Hashem a lot more mitzvot. So where's the nearest yeshiva?" The guy became an avrech. So you can't just reject people if they're willing to buy in even a little bit. You understand?